What's up, you guys, and welcome back to some more rSlash Real Talk Stories with your boy RT and my dude Dale. Y'all, today we are going to dive into some real talk, am I the butthole stories. You guys, I am interested in seeing what your opinions are on these stories. I'm going to share with you guys what I think. But first and foremost, we got to dive into the story. So our first OP is in a bit of a pickle. He's in the hot seat for a split second here. So without any further ado, Dale, let's get into it, man.
Am I the a-hole for mostly ignoring my girlfriend on her birthday? Yesterday I, male 23, and my girlfriend, female 21, celebrated her 21st birthday. Her parents threw a big celebration party with all her friends and family. For me personally, this was the first time I met anyone in her family, with the exception of her parents. It was also her first birthday I celebrated with her since we've been dating for about 7 months. Now, I am originally from a region in Romania, but I've been living abroad for 11 years now. My girlfriend mentioned at some point that one of her grandmothers was also from Romania, but we didn't discuss it in detail. So yesterday I met my girlfriend's grandmother, and what can I say? I couldn't believe how small the world was. Not only was she Romanian, but she was from the same region. So we talked. We talked a lot. She told me her life story. We reminisced about life back in Romania. I really enjoyed the conversation, especially talking in my native language. And that's how I spent most of the party. Of course, when my girlfriend asked me to take photos with her, or when the cake came, I gave her my full attention. But for the most part, she spent time with her friends, dancing, drinking, etc. She did this all while I was just talking with her grandmother. I didn't pay it much attention. But after the party was done, she told me she felt neglected by me during her birthday. And this morning she seems pissed off at me. So RT, am I the a-hole?
So, to be honest with you, I do not think that OP is a butthole and a-hole, anything whatsoever in this instance. I think that the fact that he was willing to take some time to sit down to talk to his girlfriend's grandmother says a lot about him as a person, says a lot about how he cares for his significant other. To be honest with you, if you have a significant other that's willing to take some time to sit and talk to your grandparents for an extended period of time, especially when they have something as much in common as these two do, being from the same region in Romania, I think that that is absolutely commendable. I think that that is a great quality in OP. I think what could have happened is there could have been some miscommunication between OP and his girlfriend. There's a situation where he was with her when they cut the cake. He was with her when she needed him to take a picture. She was with him in other instances, I'm sure, based off of what he explained. Whenever she needed or wanted him, he was there. So I don't think that he was neglectful of her, because he did make himself readily available. And it wasn't like he was trying to avoid her or anyone that she had planned to introduce him to that particular evening. So I don't think that OP is the butthole. I think that there may just be a bit of a lack of communication between the two. So my final vote, not the a-hole, not the butthole. Let's keep it pushing.
Am I the a-hole for making a woman leave my house? I, 30 male, was talking with my wife's friend who was there for dinner. She tried to hug my son, 7, but he had a bad day and said no thanks. She kept pressuring him, and when he didn't budge, she looked at me. I said to her, "A kid at school started a fight with him, and he was grumpy, so maybe later." She said, "Come on, you're just gonna let him disobey like that?" I said to her that I raised him to build his own boundaries and say no when something violates them, and I would never make him break them for someone else. She laughed and said he's lucky he's not her kid, and that his behavior would be fixed fast. I had my son go to his room, then I told her to get out. I said the reason I got out of bed in the morning was to see my son grow another day older, and I would not stand for him being treated like a pet rather than a person. She called me an a-hole and left. My wife is disappointed because she went to yoga with her, but she also says she can't scold me because she would have handled her friend the same way. So, am I the a-hole?
So I think that there are two things that are very important for us to take away from this story and to note. Number one, OP defended his son. I think it's important that parents defend their children, especially in instances like this, where the child experienced a very bad day, and then, they weren't being disobedient or disrespectful for not wanting to give a hug or to embrace a family friend. They were just having an off day. We all have off days, but I think a lot of the times whether you're the mom or the dad or whatever in the situation as the parent, I think a lot of the time parents allow the children to end up being the butt end of the joke, just for the sake of the relationship that they have with this adult family friend. And you know what? I love my adult family friends, the people that have been involved in my family for years. However, if it comes to my son, and I'm a single father to a young man, if it comes to my son will not be the butt end of the joke, and I'm going to stand up and defend him. So I know I'm a little biased because of that, but I think that that is one thing that is worth taking away from this particular story that OP shared with us. And number two, I think that it is great that OP's wife admitted that she was a little frustrated, again, open communication, that he ended up handling this situation in this way. However, she turned around and admitted that she would have handled it the exact same way. Again, it's important to make sure you protect your kids. I think that OP is not the butthole. He's not the a-hole in this situation. I think that the friend is definitely the a-hole in this particular situation for not respecting the child's boundaries and not respecting the desires of the parent. People, please take note. Not all parents are okay with you just doing and saying whatever it is, so please tread lightly and just show a little bit more respect for other people's kids. I mean, they're humans too. Next story.
So, am I the a-hole for excluding my new neighbor from stuff and hurting her feelings? Last month, my old neighbors moved out and some new ones moved in. A couple in their late 20s with 4 small children. The wife is a stay-at-home mom and the husband is a trucker. I went to introduce myself and bring them a pie right after they moved in. I didn't really like their vibe, but I'm a friendly person, so I tried inviting the wife to things that some of the ladies in the community were having. Our neighborhood is small, a collection of 10 houses. Everyone knows everyone and is generally pretty friendly. No one else has young kids, though. It's mostly couples with no kids, or older couples whose kids have already moved out. I hang out with 2 of my female neighbors, who are a similar age to my own, mid-20s. We go on walks, have lunch at each other's houses, in addition to other things. I only work 3 days a week, so I have a lot of free time. I invited the new neighbor Molly to 2 different things, lunch at my house and also a walk and/or hike that me and the others were going on. Both times she just assumed she could bring her kids and showed up to my house with them. I turned her away from lunch at my house because I don't want 4 rowdy kids under the age of 6 in my not childproof house. She was upset because she has no one who can ever watch them, and she can't come without them. She did bring them on a walk with us, but we couldn't go in the forest because of her stroller, so it kind of ruined things for us. There's no trees or shade in the neighborhood, and the summer heat makes it awful. The forest is much better. Since then, I've been avoiding Molly like the plague. I just don't want to be her friend. She's invited me over, asked to come over and bring her kids, and she even asked me to watch her kids the other day so she can have a break. I barely know the woman, and I feel like her behavior is pretty inappropriate, and she's maybe just not picking up on social cues. Today, me and my other neighbors went for a walk in the forest, and she saw us go. She texted me to ask why she wasn't invited, and I said, it's because we don't want our plans to be altered by her children, and she's expressed that she can't do anything without her children. She went on a rant about how it takes a village and how we don't understand what it's like, and she called us all a-holes. I agree with her that I don't understand what it's like, because I would personally never choose to have 4 kids with an absent husband. I just feel like she's being unreasonable to expect us to have a bad time just so she can have a good time. Her kids were super annoying and hard to deal with. My husband thinks she's an a-hole, but my mom thinks I should be more sympathetic. Am I the a-hole for excluding my neighbor from activities? Edit 1. Okay. Since you guys wanted me to add it, I'll add it. I asked Molly if she had any food allergies and if she was okay with salmon and quinoa for lunch. She had the opportunity to mention that she wanted to bring her kids and chose not to take it. I did not make enough food to feed her 4 kids because I had no clue she planned on bringing them. I only made food for 4, not 8. Also, when we went on a walk, the original plan was to walk in the forest. But at last minute, she unilaterally decided we as a group should change our plans and walk the neighborhood instead, because her stroller can't go in the forest. She also said, "You're all a bunch of witches for not making things easier on a mom." So yeah. Bridge burned. Sucks to suck, Molly. Edit 2. It's like some of y'all have never heard of a babysitter before, or declining plans you're invited to.
So I'm going to try to show as much grace and tread as lightly as possible with this particular story. Overall, I do not think that OP is a butthole. I do not think that OP is an a-hole. I think it's a situation where OP is like I was prior to being a parent. As I mentioned with the last story, I am a father, a single dad to a young man. Prior to me becoming a parent, I did not know what it was like to be a parent. So I think that OP struggles with understanding what it means to be a parent and the struggles that come with it and how life changes and how you can't necessarily do any and everything that you want because of the fact that you are a parent. However, I think it's a situation where OP did the best that she could. I think that OP could have been a little bit more proactive by saying, okay, I've seen Molly out with her kids. I know that she has kids. Let me go ahead and be a little bit more forward about the fact that this is a ladies only, no children, no men, no fathers type of gathering with all of the ladies within the community. If OP had been a little bit more forward about that and a little bit more proactive in her approach and within her invitation, I feel like that would have resolved a lot of the issues that OP experienced. But I do not think that there was anything malicious about how OP handled the situation. Again, I only have just a small bit of the entire story. I will say though, I think that Molly is a bit of an a-hole. Now again, this is OP's word against Molly's, but with Molly calling all of these ladies witches, also with Molly turning around and just bringing her kids without even asking if it is okay for her to bring her kids to another individual's house, especially for a first time arrival, for a first time event within the community. I think that's a little bold, and I don't think that is quite courteous of Molly to do such a thing. If it were me, if I was Molly, I would have been asking, is it okay to bring my kids? Look, I would love to join. However, there's a situation where I do not have the ability to have a babysitter, whether it be for financial reasons or for personal reasons or just for a comfort level. I think that Molly is a bit of an a-hole in this particular situation, and I know I'm going to get some flack about that, but I think that it is important to remember that just because you are a parent does not mean that you get to get away with murder. It does not mean you get to act a fool, and it does not mean you get to act your child's age just because you have children. That's just my opinion, you guys. So to cap it off, once again, OP, not the a-hole, but sadly Molly, based off of the edits and some of the other things in the story, you're a bit of an a-hole. Well, you guys, I hope y'all enjoyed today's video. I hope you guys were able to gather your own thoughts on whether these OPs were a-holes or not. And if you did, please dive down into the comment section. I want to hear what you guys think. And while you're at it, go ahead and smash that like button, smash that subscription button, and click on the bell notification icon. That way you guys will be notified every time we drop a new Real Talk video here on the channel. You guys, we're gonna have videos releasing every single day. So you guys, y'all, until next time, much love and many blessings, y'all.